Okay, after we got the screws out, turn it upright and you can grab the back of it and just gently pull it. And this bottom, probably gotta give it a little tug. This bottom comes right off. Now, here's what we're gonna have to do. You're going to have to desolder the cords. Now, the first thing we're going to do is take loose this cord right here. It comes right out. Just pull it right out. Okay. Now, there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 wires in all that we're going to have to desolder. Now this isn't really hard, you know, it's fairly easy. Right now you're going to need a solder gun, and soldering isn't complicated at all. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to take our solder gun and place it on each wire, and we're going to pull up. I'm going to zoom in on the camera so you guys can get a better view, okay? Let's prop these up a little bit. Okay, got that one out. Let's get the red one and let's get the black one. And I'm not pulling on it hard, just a little bit. And it comes right off. Let's get this last black one on the corner. Okay, now let's get these two over here. Came right up. Get this last one. Okay, here's our new drive that we purchased from Xbox Slave. And it's brand new. It's a Benq. This is what a Benq drive looks like, okay? Not a Hitachi, not a Samsung, but a Benq, aka Phillips drive, okay? So basically, we're gonna flip this over, take the screws out the same way we did the last drive, the one that was broken. Okay, pull the top off the same exact way. Set the back to the side. Now what I'm about to do now is I'm about to take the PCB board out the same way I did the last drive, the one that was broken. Now, since we have two black cords, well, two white cords, I'm sorry, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a Sharpie and mark one of them with black, so that way when we get ready to solder the new chip back in, we know that this is the one that comes first. Then see, it's 3 white ones, okay? Let me get a close-up. As you can see, it's 3 white cords. We're going to label the first white one, then we're going to label the third one. And we're not going to label the one in the middle, so that way we know that it belongs in the middle between the two that are marked. And we're going to come over here and we're going to desolder them. So Don't pull too hard because you don't want to fling solder everywhere. Just move it. It'll move right off. See? Came right off. Slide it over and get the other two. And what I'm going to do is, since there's 2 white cords over here too, I'm going to label the one on the end with the black Sharpie, so that way I'll know it's the one that belongs on the end. And I'm going to do it the same way I did the other ones. Pull right up. Came right off. Now it's taking me a little bit, but this is a pretty old soldering iron. So if you go buy a new one, you have no problem with this. As soon as you touch it, solder will melt. But I have to rub it on it a little bit. Came right off. And first, let's label this one so we won't get it confused with our other PCB chip. This is, we're going to label it S1. And this is the one that doesn't have the code. And what I mean by code is, each PCB board that you have contains a code for that motherboard, okay? This is the reason why we're taking this chip out, and we're going to put this chip inside the new drive, okay? And I labeled this chip T1. Now, it's easy to take the chip out. This chip came out of our broken drive, okay? This is the reason you just can't take an Xbox 360 drive out and put it inside another Xbox. You have to have this chip, okay? And that's why we put this chip inside the new drive. I'm going to take this chip, sit it right here, okay? See it, well, let me sit it to the side over here. And basically what you're going to want to do first is take this white cord and you're going to slide it out just like we did. Now this is the old board, okay? Well, this is the new board that doesn't have our code, okay? And it's 2 notches, okay? To remove the PCB chip, you just pop the notches, grab the chip, and it pulls right up. And we're going to get this other little slot right here. See how it came right up? Now, it's a ribbon still connected, the laser ribbon. Let you get a back view. You see it? It's right here. Now, you're not going to want to pull the laser ribbon out from the PCB board. You're going to want to pull the laser ribbon out from the laser. So basically, with one hand, put your finger on the laser and hold it tight. And basically, take the cord and just slide it out. And voila. Okay? Slid right out. Now we're going to take our new board and put it in. Real simple. You're going to take the laser ribbon and you're going to put it inside the same slot that you just took the other laser ribbon out of. Okay, there we go. Push it all the way in so you don't feel it anymore. And take the cord. Remember this cord right here with the white tip, slide it all the way in a little slot. And we're going to take our PCB board and pop it back. And you're going to want to get the sides of it into these 2 slots right here, on your left and your right. And you'll know when it pops back in. Make sure you have all of your wires out first. You know, all the wires that we have to solder back on. Make sure you have them so that they're not underneath the PCB board. Okay. I forgot to slide my cord in. The cord in. Make sure all of your wires are sticking up so that they're not under the PCB board. And pops right back into place. Now you can take this wire, slide it right in. You can just wiggle it a little bit. And the red line lets you indicates that it's all the way pressed in. So basically, you know, when it gets to the red line, that it's good to go. And now here comes the magical part of soldering the wires to the good drive. And this right here is the good drive that we purchased from xboxslave.com. Okay. Now, to solder, we do it the same exact way we did when we desoldered the wires. But you're going to take the wire this time and press it down. When the solder melts, you're going to make sure that the wire is still on the slot. Now let me zoom in so you guys can get a better look. Okay. Now, what we're going to do now is solder. I've already soldered the first one on. Basically, what we're going to do now is we're going to solder each wire onto the pellet that has the solder on there. We're going to do the same thing we did when we desoldered the wires, except for we're going to leave the wire on this time. When you see the solder kind of melt, when you take the soldering iron and touch it, the solder is going to melt, and you just press down on the wire. Don't touch the solder because it gets hot, okay? Stuff will burn you. Basically, when it glows, the wire, you can see the wire, you kind of touch it, and you can kind of blow on it. So that way, give it a little tug, make sure it's on there tight. You know what? I did the wrong one. You're supposed to do the red one after the black one. See, you can easily make a mistake. So what we're going to do now, take a look. Okay, take a look to the link to the right, and it's going to show you a picture of the way the colors are supposed to go. You know, after the black one, it's the red one. So I'm going to take the red one, press down on the solder a little bit with the soldering iron. Starting to glow. See the wires on there? Blow on it a little bit. Now after the red one, what do we have? We have the white one. And we know that this white one comes first because we labeled it. Remember? We labeled it with a black Sharpie. We're going to do the same thing for this one. Now, soldering isn't complicated. You know, it isn't really that easy, but it isn't hard at all, okay? Don't make it out to what it's not. Do the same thing. Touch the solder. Okay, once you see the solder starts to glow, leave the wire on it. Kind of blow on it a little bit. Okay. Now we know that this wire, this white one goes in the middle, because you remember we didn't label it with the Sharpie. Blowing it a little bit. And we know that this is the next one because we labeled it with the Sharpie. See a little black strip at the end? Once it melts, blowing it a little bit. And next, the next one is the red one, okay? So you take your red wire, do it the same exact way. Blowing it. See, now it's stuck on. And the last one at the end, the black wire. Gonna do it the same way. And when I say wire, don't get the rubber part of the insulation of the wire. The outside, the silver tip, is what's getting stuck to the pallet because it makes the connection to the motor. And the motor pulls the tray out and sends the information to the disk drive. This one's kind of short, so we're going to pull it up a little bit and bend it. And you can bend the wires, it's okay. Turn it sideways, however you have to turn it in order to get the connection. Okay, now let's get the two on this end. Remember the white ones? We're going to do the same thing. Start with the one on the end so that way you can work your way over. And we know that this one goes to the end because we labeled it with the black Sharpie. See, it's black at the tip and the other one's just all white. Take it. Blow on it a little bit. Give it a little notch. Nudge it a little bit. Make sure that it's connected. That it has a fairly strong connection, but don't rip it off. You know, because you'll make a mistake and rip the pallet, the hose of solder off. But just give it a little tug. You know, make sure that it's on good. You know, not halfway on, because you don't want it to come off when you're putting the drive back together. And you're going to do the same to the last one. It's going to melt. You know it's touching. Okay, and we're done soldering. Okay, now that we have all of our wires securely soldered on, it's time to put the case back on, or the case bottom, and put it on just like you took it off. And take 4 screws. Put them in. Same way you took them out. Phillips head screwdriver. You already know. Press down. Sometimes you gotta kind of squeeze it because the connection won't be that good. So kind of press down on it. You'll know when it's tight and firm. And there you go. One screw. Make sure that all is tight. There you go. This is how you fix an Xbox 360 with the broken Benq key / Phillips drive. And just plug the Xbox drive back in and it'll work like new. Thanks for watching and good luck. Okay, now that we're done, I'm going to write working drive on it. Now let's take it over to the Xbox and test it out. See if it works. I want to play a DVD. See if a DVD movie will play in it, okay? Okay, here's Xbox that I have stripped down. You know, I just plugged the drive in. Let's open the tray up. Let's test this sucker out. Okay, I'm going to use DVD movie 16 blocks. It's one of my favorite movies. So throw 16 blocks in there. Set it up. As you can see, Xbox is reading. And there you go.